Hey there, it's Chuck with MTG The Journey, and as I said before, I am going back over this and commentating on top of a game I've already played, because of the fact that it's a little easier, I think, to play and not have to worry about commentating. So, this guy I was playing against here, didn't know it till later, but he's actually playing a complete mono black list. These Asphodel Wanderer are actually really good for him. I probably could have kept a slightly better hand than this, but it seemed good. I mean, it still does seem like a keepable hand. Plenty of land. The ability to ramp into the Nespian Asp was here already. So I go ahead and throw out the Satyr Hedonist here, because I can go ahead and sack it next turn to go ahead and throw out the Nespian Asp on turn 3, which seems really good. I've kind of underestimated the Satyr Hedonist in the past because of that ability. He seems really good as far as ramp goes. So I just go ahead and let this damage come at me here, and let it go ahead and hit through. I'm not really worried about it. So now he's got the Fellhide Minotaur and the Asphodel Wanderer there. So at this point, I kind of have realized that it's mono black that I'm playing against. And I'm going to try to critique what I'm doing here as well. I really do feel like the best course of action at this point was to go ahead and throw out the Nespian Asp. So I do believe that's what I did here. Yeah, I went ahead and attacked in first, actually, because if he blocked, I was going to go ahead and just Savage Surge or Titan Strength there. But since he didn't, I went ahead and sacked him and threw out the Nespian Asp, which I feel like was the best line of play there. Which I feel like this held him in check for quite a while here, because he throws out his Insatiable Harpy here, which I'm not worried about at all. He's just going to go ahead and end turn. And I pull this Destructive Revelry here, which I thought was going to be a great card because of all the enchantments it hits and everything. So here, I think I went ahead and swung in here to see if he'd go ahead and chump block me. I don't think he throws anything in the way of it here. So I go ahead and Savage Surge it, I believe, and untap it to get in there for 6 instead of 4. No, he does chump block it. And I don't think I was worried about taking 2 at this point with or even 3. But I think I went ahead and threw out the Laguna Band Elder this turn. No, I Savage Searched it. Why did I do that? See, that was a play mistake right there. I only killed his Fellhide Minotaur. I could have just killed his Fellhide Minotaur, And then next turn, when he swings in, I go ahead and cast Savage Surge, untap it, and then take out his Insatiable Harpy too. At instant speed. I feel like that would have been the better play. Because there, I basically just wasted the spell. Because I didn't even get a chance to take out his Harpy because I went ahead and played into his. Because see, now here I'm going to waste this Magma Jet on the Harpy. When I could have been swinging at him instead. And then he would have regen that Asphodel Wanderer, and I could have Magma Jetted that. So that would have made a huge difference in this game so far. Just looking back at it. So now I've wasted 2 spells on something that is not a big deal. So yeah, that would have been the line of play there. I do believe. I do believe that would have probably changed the way this game played out, because I would have had nothing on the field here and I would have been swinging for way huger amounts of damage here. Because the last turn I could have swung in with the Nessian Asp when he blocked with his Minotaur. I could have just left it alone, and then I could have Savage Surged on his turn after he swung with the Harpy and the Asphodel Wanderer, blocked the Harpy, and then this turn I could have swung in. He would have blocked with the Asphodel Wanderer, and then I could have see, he's got the regen mana available, so he's just gonna throw it in there and regen it, which he doesn't. I think at this point. I think that was weird. I think he didn't regen it because he wanted to throw something else out. But still, I could have gotten rid of that 2 turns ago. So, huge misplay on my part there. Because now he's got this return phalanx he's going to throw out. Which I'm not sure why he takes so much time here. He's just taking an insane amount of time to make his decision here. And anytime now, guy. I don't remember why he took so long, but he just seems to take forever to finish up his turn here. So anyways, I've already picked out one thing that I would have done completely different, just going back and watching the gameplay here over over commentating while I'm doing it. It seemed because a lot of times I don't often go back and watch my games after I've commentated over them. I like to let other people make suggestions and things as well based on how the gameplay goes. So here I go ahead and throw out the Lagana Band Elder. Leaving up some land for the Titan strength here. And he throws out yet another Asphodel Wanderer. I can't believe people who can draft mono black. That just seems crazy to me. And here's where the 3-color starts to suck. Just simply because of the fact that, I mean, I have a double casted cost archetype of Courage, which would be great to have. So I think I swing in with both here just to see what he does. I do. And he does exactly what I think he's going to do here. He throws the Return Phalanx in front of the Lagana Band Elder and throws the Asphodel Warner in front of the Nessie and Asp, because that's the way he's going to try to order it. He's going to try to take out my Return Phalanx, but Immortal's Resolve on top of my Lagana Band Elder, which I think was a smart play because it gets it to a 4-3 and it's indestructible. So I'm going to take out his Return Phalanx, but his Asphodel Wonder he's going to regen. So far this guy's had a lot of answers for everything. And these Asphodel Wonders are just killer in draft. They seem to just do a whole lot of work. And he Pharika's Cures off my Lagona Band Elder. But I had Titan Strength here. I'm not really sure why. I should have saved that. But I think I put that on the bottom. I don't think I needed it. Yeah, I put it on the bottom. Because I definitely need a white source at this point. And it was another forest. So nothing I could really do there. I thought I could Monstrous here, but I only had 6 available, not 7. And that's why I did that. With the tapping the mana down. I thought I could go ahead and Monstrous there, but I don't really think it would have done anything because he's got regen mana available. So he just blocks my biggest guy and then regens. Takes 3. He'll regenerate. And he had a lot of life gain too, surprisingly. And I think this is where things start to just get a little dicey. So I want to pay attention here a little bit to how I play this to see if there's a way I could have played it any differently. And see, that's going to give me the ability to Monstrous next turn. As I can tap that for 2 and then Monstrous and get that to a 10, which really puts it out of the way of most of the removal. So he Viper's Kiss it, gives it -1/1. And here, I felt so stupid because I made a huge misplay because I went ahead and tapped out all my forest to cast this Karametra's Acolyte, which is stupid. I should have used the colorless from the Unknown Shores because now I can't cast my Destructive Revelry onto the Viper's Kiss at instant speed and kill it and do 2 damage to him. Instead, he lashes the webs and gets rid of my biggest creature. So that was a huge misplay on my part because I could have just instantly said, no thanks, I'm going to go ahead and not do that. And then his Lash of the Whip would have only done 4 damage, and it would have been no big deal. I would have still been in this game. But at this point, it's going to be really hard for me to come back from this because of the fact that I made that huge misplay casting that Karametra's Acolyte. I definitely should have used my colorless mana and only one of the reds and one of the greens to keep up mana for my Destructive Revelry. So here I have a Springleaf Drum. So I'm pretty sure I go ahead and cast that. And here I use my colorless mana because it makes sense to. Which was still, again, another misplay. Because now I still can't cast my Archetype of Courage this turn. I should have used the red and then tap the other red for another white. And then use my Springleaf Drum to tap the Karametra's Acolyte. So yet another misplay. So here I'm still another turn behind because I misplay again. I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing here, which can get irritating at times, but it's just so many misplays that I miss because I'm so focused on something else. And this time I don't even have the excuse of commentating. I'm just a horrible player in this game. So there's that. But yeah, then he gets out this Insatiable Harpy. So now he's going to start gaining life, and he throws out a Return Phalanx. So there's pretty much no way I'm coming back from this, even with this Great Heart. It doesn't really matter at this point what I do, because he just has way too much ability to gain life back. And in my head, the reason why I went ahead and tapped that Karametra's Acolyte is because I needed to get the Archetype of Courage out there, and I would rather tap something that I would already tap for mana rather than throw out something that. And see, I don't know why I didn't swing there. I should have swung there because I have a 3/2 first striker. He's gonna have to block it, or maybe he won't block it. But it's not like it's gonna stop me from being able to. I mean, effectively it blocks his Marsh Mist Titan, but. And here I have this Reverent Hunter that's gonna come down and be a 3/3 first striker. Excuse me. See, here I start getting a little smarter because I realized before that I realized during the game that I should have played that stuff differently, but too late because I need to think through my stuff and talk through my stuff. Maybe that is a benefit of commentating, is the fact that I could talk through the gameplay as I do it. And here we just amass our armies of guys, but I don't have any way to give anything flying, so that Insatiable Harpy is just going to pound me to death, and he's going to keep gaining life. Which I think is what ends up happening. He just gets me down. He just whittles away at me with that, because I don't have anything I can swing in with this Marsh Mist Titan here. Because all my stuff's going to die. So I'm just kind of hoping that he'll swing in with the Marsh Mist Titan and go ahead and do something that way. Which never ends up happening, I don't believe here. Just simply because of the fact that he doesn't have any reason to. He can just whittle me away in 4 turns with this Insatiable Harpy, and there's nothing I can do about it. But I would have been turns ahead if I would have played things properly here. I would still have my Nessie and Asp on the field, and it would be monstrous by now, so it'd be a 10-10. So he would have had to have been blocking it. His Marsh Mist Titan wouldn't be around because he doesn't have any other removal and hasn't had any other removal. So he would have just kept throwing stuff in front of it, and then I would have kept amassing this huge army and would have ended up pounding him down, and it would just have been a short game. So, I mean, at this point, there's not really anything I can do to stop this Harpy because there's no way I can give anything I have flying. I can't swing in or my stuff just dies. So, that's pretty much it. And then on the backswing, he would just kill me. So, yep, and just keep swinging with the Harpy and gaining life. Gonna go back up to 19 here. And then brings out Forsaken Drifter. And at this point, I think I just scooped because there's not anything I can do. All right, well that was game 1 here. So I'm pretty sure I went ahead and sideboarded here, brought in these Portent of Betrayals to try to steal that Marsh Mist Titan away from him. I think I went ahead and brought in the Pinnacle of Rage, maybe. No, maybe the Fleet Feather Sandals. I think I did bring that in. That's a good card to have in. I'm not sure why I got rid of that Destructive Revelry. I saw last time that was going to be handy to have. I don't think the Springleaf Drum I really cared about. The Impetuous Sunchaser should come out because it's not really that great of a card. And actually, the favorite Hoplite could have came out, or the Wingsteed Rider, because neither one of them, I don't really have a ton of targets for them other than like the Savage Surge and the Feral Invocation. I don't really have a whole lot of targets for them. I have Titan Strength, but 3 targets for 2 heroic creatures is not fantastic, so I could have just left them completely out and brought in stuff that made a difference. So looking back, that's probably where I would have made a difference there. This actually does seem like a fairly keepable hand. I have 3 lands, and all 3 of them are the lands that I need. So if I draw into any more land, I've already got most of the land that I need to do what I want. So I'm pretty sure he has the turn 1 Asphodel Wanderer here. Which, you know, some people just get the nuts. There's nothing you can do about it. So it happens. But I'm more here just going to be looking at misplays and seeing what I could have done differently here. So far, everything that I've done is what I would have done. Throws out this Return Phalanx, which I'm not terribly worried about. And I just pulled my 4th land. And at this point, I honestly would wait and just cast the Karametra's Acolyte first before I casted the Reverent Hunter, so that it becomes a 3/3 instead of a 2/2. But I didn't do that for whatever reason. I'll never know. It seems to me that it would have been better to just wait a turn because he can only still do 1 damage because his Return Phalanx can't attack. So wait a turn, cast out the Karametra's Acolyte, which is going to be way better, and then cast the Reverent Hunter as a 3/3. And throw the Fleet Feather Sandals on a 3/3 rather than a 2/2. That seems like the way better play to me. And why did I play Great Heart there? No. Say Karametra's Acolyte would be the play because then you've got more ramp. Because now I technically have 6 land on the field, or 6 mana available to play the Pinnacle of Rage. Should I pull another fort, or should I pull another mountain here? And see, there's the Satyr Hedonist. So now I have my Pinnacle of Rage on deck. Wow, this is just chock full of misplays here. See, I may have gotten in there for 2, which is fine. But right now I could have gotten in for 3. Or more, really. So here, I feel like I probably screwed this all up. I think I go ahead and sack the Satyr Hedonist here, which gives me my capability to use my Pinnacle here. I'm sure I got rid of the Asphodel Wanderer and the Fellhide Minotaur here, which is the smart play because his return failings can attack. And that Asphodel Wanderer's got the regen, which really puts up a stop to me being able to do a whole lot. Get in there for another 2, which obviously could have been another 3. So he would have been down to 14 at this point, instead of the 16 he is currently at. So there I get another mountain here. What I probably do is cast this Stormcaller for whatever reason. I should probably cast Great Heart here, because then I can unattach my Fleet Feather Sandals from the Reverent Hunter and go ahead and throw him on the Great Heart should he throw out a Insatiable Harpy or something of that nature. So it would kill him, but not me. And see here, he would have been down to a 9 already instead of a 14 if I would have played that properly. Did go ahead and throw out the Great Heart. Excuse me. But here again, I'm stupid because I could be yet one more turn ahead because the Stormcaller could be out right now. Because I have 2 mana available to me through Karametra's Acolyte, and if I would have just used one of the forests and not one of the mountains, I could have cast the Stormcaller as well. But here I go ahead and throw out the Nylea's Presence. Pick this last forest here. And then I draw into the plains I needed. So I've got the archetype on deck here. Again, it doesn't really matter because now I have the mana available to throw out Stormcaller, but I should have done it at the end of last turn. So we're going to go ahead and swing in with what we can swing in with, just to see if he'll block. And of course, he should have blocked with the return failing, so that would have made sense. So here he should have been at a 4 instead of a 10. But that would have changed how he would have played, because if that would have put him down to a 4, he probably would have thrown something in front of it, which I don't know why he didn't throw something in front of the Great Heart. The return phalanx could have absorbed the damage and been fine. I didn't have any pump in my hand. He knew I didn't have any pump in my hand. So I'm not really sure why he didn't take a chump block there. So he's going to Lash of the Whip my Great Heart, which is a smart play here. I've got a Voyaging Satyr, which literally does absolutely nothing. Probably the worst top deck I could have right there. So here I would have gotten in for 3 more. He'd be down to a 1 at this point instead of an 8. So yeah, that one mistake at the very beginning pretty much cost me this entire game. Because then this turn right here, I could have just Alpha Striked and it would have been game. Because it wouldn't have mattered, even if he throws out something here, it wouldn't have mattered. So he Viper's Kisses my archetype of Courage. So I can't activate his abilities, and he's a 1/1. I'm not really sure why that matters. So I have all the ramp I could ever dream of here. Just can't draw into anything. And he draws into this Keepsake Gorgon. Just nasty. And this would have been game right here, because he's got nothing that flies. So I could have just swung for lethal right here in the air. And that wouldn't have even been necessary. So I already have him down to a 3, but it would have been over by this point. I would have won pretty much both games at this point if it wasn't for the misplays. So those are both completely my fault why I didn't win them. It was 100% controllable because he stalled here. And if I would have just done things just a little bit differently, this would have been a completely different game. And still, even at this point, if I get into a top deck here where I can pump my guy, which I can't, I could just run into a favorite hoplite here. And I think I did something stupid here. I think I just Alpha Striked, thinking there's no way he can stop all of these damage guys. But I'm an idiot and shouldn't have done that. Because he's got Monstrous on deck here. So when it becomes Monstrous, you destroy target non-Gorgon creature. So I'm pretty sure he just destroys the Reverend Hunter, which is going to do the damage to him. And then he's got Death Touch, so he's just going to block the Archetype of Courage here. The Return Phalanx is going to take out the Stormcaller. So yep, I pretty much just lose everything here because of the stupid mistake. Which he would have Monstrous and taken out my... So I feel like the best choice there would have been to just cast the favorite Hoplite and pass turn back, as he only absorbed 1 damage there. And I have nothing that I can do to target that guy to make him any bigger. And of course, I don't top deck my Miracle card. And he Erebos' Emissary here. Makes his Forsaken Drifter 7/5. And just begins his own little beat down here. Which at this point I have 2 turns basically to find something to target Favorite Hoplite with here. And he's going to go ahead and pump it. Pump it again. So it's not up to an 11. It's not up to an 11. And I pull an Unknown Shores, which is probably the worst card I could possibly cast. So I'm just going to go ahead and put Fleet Feather Sandals on the Hoplite here and swing away. Puts him down to a 1. Next turn I can just throw something in front of the Forsaken Drifters and swing for 1. Which I think is actually what ends up happening. I don't think he gets anything down that's going to stop me here. I don't think he top decks anything. So I think I won this one and it went to game 3 here. Just because of the Fleet Feather Sandals here. But still, so many misplays. I could have won both of these so many turns earlier if I would have just seen things a little bit differently. I'm not really sure why he discards and pumps here. Because it doesn't do anything. He's already been blocked. Just to finish up whatever he was doing. I'm not really sure. See, there you go. And there I had the Feral Invocation. If I would have had a turn earlier, it would have been game already. But still, that's neither here nor there. I think I don't really remember what I did here to side here. Let's take a look. Brought the Destructive Revelry back in. Seems like a good play. Again, I should have been looking at the Favorite Hoplite Wingsteed Rider to get rid of here. Just to cut down my dependence on white. The only things I should have been playing white would have been the Archetype of Courage, the Great Heart, and the Favorite Hoplite. The other two are, I'm sorry, the Lagana Bandito, the Archetype of Courage, and the Great Heart. Just because of the fact that, I don't know, it seems like in this hand I should have just kept it. Because I end up with this, which is horrible. Because I can't cast anything in my hand yet again, except for the Fleet Feather Sandals, and it's just going to give him insane advantage here, as I don't draw into anything that I can play here. Good old antivirus popping up there. So yeah, he's just going to get insane advantage over me here, as I'm not going to draw into anything I can really play here for a while. I should have just kept that all land in one card hand, because the chances were better with that. All land is generally going to be bad, but it's worse if you have less land that you can use, as 2 or 3 turns later you're going to have a card to play. And as it was, 2 or 3 turns later I didn't have a card to play as it was. So here I'm just screwed. I can't do anything, so I just have to pass turn back. So lesson to be learned there. In draft, if your second hand is all land, it's probably best to just keep it. So yeah. And I don't know why I did that either. Stupid move. Because then he just 2-for-1s me. Because I don't know why that. Well, it's just a stupid move. So. Because here I have Great Heart on deck. I think at this point I'm just too far behind. And this Insatiable Harpy's just going to ping me for crap tons of damage. He throws out the Marsh Mist Titan. And here I think I kind of did a little combat trick here. I left back the Great Heart and the Burnished Heart as blockers. He's going to swing in with his Insatiable Harpy and Marsh Mist Titan. I'm going to block the Marsh Mist Titan. And I'm going to throw the Savage Surge on the Great Heart here. Because I'm going to let him think that I don't have a combat trick here. So I was kind of proud of this here. I went ahead and took out the Marsh Mist Titan. I don't know why he didn't swing with his Harpy. He's a little bit of a misplay on his part, because the Harpy will get through, obviously. But yeah, he doesn't know that. That's why he didn't. He didn't know that, because I could have just thrown the Fleet Feather Sandals on the Great Heart during combat. And he assigned all the combat damage to the Great Heart. So that's what he wanted to kill. He wanted to take that sucker out. So here I sacked the Great Heart, I'm pretty sure. No, I just threw the Fleet Feather Sandals on the Great Heart. And then I throw out the Stormcaller this turn. I think next turn is when I might sack the Burnished Heart. And then he has the Keepsake Organ, which is just destructive. And he's got enough mana on board to monstrous it like immediately, pretty much. So there's not a whole lot I can do at that point. Which why I attacked with that. That was a stupid idea. Because now he's just gonna attack into me. Which it doesn't really matter, I guess, because next turn he's gonna monstrous anyways, and kill it. So might as well have got in there for 2. He's just gonna gain it right back though, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It also doesn't make a whole lot of sense why he doesn't swing in with his Keepsake Gorgon there for an additional 2 damage. So I'm probably just going to keep my Immortal's Resolve up here. To save my Great Heart. as I know he's going to monstrous and try to kill it. So I go ahead and scry here, which was pretty powerful actually. That lets me put a card that I don't need on the bottom. Still, I do feel like I could have been a little bit farther ahead in this game. Just see, I knew he was going to monstrous here. I think I actually played this game really well. I just didn't have the nuts to do anything. So the guy just had all the right stuff in the right places. So, which yeah, it's a waste, but I mean, it probably would have been better to make my hoplite a 4 or whatever and, you know, do that, but it wouldn't have saved my, and then he would have just had tons of stuff to do with this insatiable harpy here. Although I guess I could have just put the Fleet Feather Saddles right back on the favorite hoplite and been swinging for 4 in the air rather than 2, but I don't think it would have really made all that much difference. And he's probably got a combat trick here. I don't remember. Yeah, he bio-blighted right afterwards, so. Again, nasty. Takes my scry away from me, and that's. I just scooped there. I didn't see there. I didn't see any way coming back from that. So there you have it. That's a little disappointing, especially looking back on it now, seeing that I definitely could have played that differently and probably end up winning it. But that's why we have these. That's why we have these videos. Helps us a little bit to look back on it and see what we could have done a little bit differently. Let me know how you liked the commentary better this time. Whether you liked it better with the commentary afterwards or the commentary during. Just to let me know from an audience standpoint what you think of that. Sorry about my throat today. I'm a little bit down under the weather, but trying to put this together for you in the best way possible. So let me know which way is more appealing to you. But thanks for watching, and stick around for the rest of the series here coming up either the rest of the day today or probably tomorrow. So yeah, thanks very much again, and don't forget to check out the roguedeckbuilder.com as well, as I'm going to try to start putting some of these series on there as well, as long as Kevin is okay with that. So thanks for watching and have a great day.